Hey everyone, and welcome back. So doing a news video today, especially now that I'm feeling a lot better than I was a week ago, and have a couple of announcements, including the Arrow April titles, two studio announcements that I do want to mention real quick, and also it looks like, while it hasn't officially been announced yet, at least not as of this recording, it does look like we do have possible Shout and Scream Factory titles that also may be coming in April. But I'm going to cover all that, so let's just dive right in. So first up, coming from Paramount on April 9th, I think, April 9th, is a 4K release of King Kong. Now this is not the original King Kong, this is the one from 1976, right? Starring Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange. And so a lot of you know, this got a Blu-ray release, collector's edition Blu-ray release from Scream Factory just a couple years ago. So this release is actually from Paramount themselves. And they've done this a couple times where they've sort of licensed out a movie to Scream Factory in particular and done like for a Blu-ray release, and then they, like a year later, they go and put out a 4K release. Now, some of those, they have licensed back to Scream Factory. So, for example, recently, like Silver Bullet and The Dead Zone, for example. Why they didn't license this one back to Scream Factory to include all the extras and everything, but I don't know. Anyway, so this is going to be a steelbook. It does actually look like it's a decent looking steelbook. I'm just waiting to see what the final specs are, including the price. Not 100% sure what the price is just at this moment, but I did want to mention that. And another title that has not technically officially been announced yet, but it did leak out from, I think, the director, if I remember correctly, that it is being worked on for later this year, and that is indeed a 4K release of Tron Legacy. Obviously to tie in with the third film that is coming at some point, but still, nonetheless, I'm happy that will be getting a 4K release, and hopefully a 4K release of the first film as well. I mean, I know the first film probably can only look so good, with those early computer graphics and everything, but still, I would love a 4K release of that one as well. Now, obviously, no release date or anything as far as Tron Legacy goes just yet, but obviously, it's very, very early on, but once there is further news, I would definitely mention that. And now we move on to the Arrow titles coming this April. So a bit of a different mix, as this seems like the first couple months of this year are. There's a couple of UK-only Blu-rays, a couple of US and Canada-only Blu-rays, and then one 4K title, which luckily will be coming to both the US and the UK. So I'll do the two UK Blu-ray titles. First up is the film Behind Convent Walls, getting a limited edition Blu-ray release, retailing for £24.99. Has a new 2K transfer from the original 35mm camera negative, and a couple of extras, including a new commentary track by film critic Justine Smith, Anarchic Nuns and the Artistry of Desire, a new appreciation by film scholar Virginie Salavi, Brief von Paris in 1975, a short film by the director, as well as a theatrical trailer. And again, assuming this is Region B locked, since it is a UK Blu-ray release. And then the other UK Blu-ray is of the film, the Robert Altman film, That Cold Day in the Park, also getting a limited edition Blu-ray, retailing for £24.99 as well. And this will actually be a 2-disc set. So this one will have the theatrical cut, including a commentary track by critic Sam Dean, isolated music and effects track, Crazy in the Rain, Altman's Vancouver, newly produced featurette revisiting the locations by Kier Le Janice, author of House of Psychotic Women. Hope I pronounced that name correctly. Archive interview with film critic and historian David Thompson, author of Altman on Altman. Extended scenes from a pre-release print of the film. Over 10 minutes of behind-the-scenes footage. Theatrical trailer and image gallery. And then disc 2 is going to have a newly extended 114-minute version of the film, reintegrating previously deleted material from a surviving pre-release print. And that second disc is only going to be in this release, so when they re-release the standard release down the line, it will not have the second disc with that alternate cut. And it looks like running time-wise, what's the difference here? 107 minutes to 114 minutes. And then the next two Blu-rays are going to be US and Canada only. So first up is a Blu-ray release, a limited edition Blu-ray release of the film The Scarface Mob, coming at $39.99. Obviously, these are the retail prices. They'll be cheaper, once they get closer to coming out. From 1959, starring Robert Stack, and it looks like it's actually going to be quite a nice special edition. A couple of nice extras, including Gangbusters, a brand new video essay on the film and the career of director Phil Carlson by film critic David Cairns. Philip Kemp on the Scarface Mob, a brand new video essay on the career of Elliot Ness and his depictions on film, including the Scarface Mob by film critic Philip Kemp, as well as a theatrical trailer. And of course, this will be one of the limited editions, so I'll have that, very nice, mini book that a lot of these come with. It seems like a cool title. I've actually never seen it before. So, yeah, that's kind of one I would like to check out. And then the other US and Canada only Blu-ray, also getting a limited edition release, is the movie The Tin Star, coming in also at $39.99. This is a Western directed by Anthony Mann, who's a fantastic director. This film stars Henry Fonda and Anthony Perkins. And again, a couple of nice extras, including a commentary track with film historian Toby Rohn, Apprenticing a Master, a brand new appreciation of the film by author and critic Neil Sinyard. Beyond the Score, a brand new interview with Peter Bernstein, son of Elmer Bernstein, on his father's timeless musical mastery. Oh, and Elmer Bernstein was a phenomenal film composer. As well as the original theatrical trailer and image gallery, and of course this is in one of their deluxe editions, which will come with, book and poster and all kinds of stuff. So again, a couple of different titles, unfortunately they're, region locked depending on where you are. Obviously, I assume the UK ones are Region B locked, and the US and Canada ones are Region A locked. But at least now we move on to the one 4K title coming from them in April. And so for April 30th is a 4K release of Basket Case. And this is, looks like it's going to be pretty identical to their Blu-ray release that came out a couple years ago. In fact, I think it's using the same 4K master. It was a 4K restoration that was done by the Museum of Modern Art just a couple years ago, and that was the basis of their original Blu-ray release, and that's, I think, the basis of this 4K release. Obviously, Arrow is doing their own prep for 4K, but I believe it is using that same restoration. And I took a quick glance, and it looks like all the extras from the previous Blu-ray release are being ported over. Now, the nice thing about this is that, so the 4K release, there will be a US release as well as a UK release of it, but there will actually be a UK only Blu-ray release, which I guess the original Blu-ray release from a couple years ago maybe was only US only. So at least now those of you in the UK who weren't able to get it on Blu-ray, who want it on Blu-ray, now you should be able to get a chance. And then for all of us who want a 4K upgrade, it's definitely going to be available for all of us. And again, it looks like it ports over all the extras from before. This is a title that should be available in most places, but there will be an Arrow Store exclusive for both the US and the UK if you want this sort of alternative title, which is a VHS cover title, which I think that might have been the UK VHS release. You guys in the UK will have to let me know. And again, that is an Arrow Store exclusive. So that's actually a very cool one. I'm glad that they're re-releasing in 4K. I'm kind of hoping they also re-release, wait, did they put it out originally? Or was that somebody else? No, didn't they do, yeah, they did Brain Damage. A couple years, the Blu-ray Brain Damage. So I would love a 4K release of Brain Damage if they can also get around to doing that one. Another Frank Henenlotter film. And again, those are the Arrow titles for April. So, again, another kind of, some cool stuff here. Definitely a little bit more of a lighter month, which is interesting. Again, I don't know if Arrow is maybe, working on something big for later this year, maybe. Or maybe they're just kind of cutting back. I don't know. I mean, again, good announcements, but still, it does kind of make you think. So moving on to the Scream Factory and Shout Factory announcements. Again, these aren't official just yet. In fact, there may even be another one or two titles coming that I don't know about. These are sort of early releases of information. A couple, there's several places have already put out this information. So I did want to mention it, and then obviously once the official announcements come, I'll obviously do another video on that. So there's going to be two Blu-rays from Shout Factory, or Shout Studios, I guess is what they're called now, and then two from that are officially Scream Factory titles. So there's the two Blu-rays from Shout Studios. First one is the movie Affliction, the Paul Schrader film starring Nick Nolte and James Coburn, which I think, wasn't James Coburn nominated for Actor Award for that? I'd have to look it up. I'm kind of blanking. But so that is finally getting a Blu-ray release, as well as the film adaptation of Lost in Space from the mid-90s or whenever that was. And that is going to be a collector's edition, but it is going to be Blu-ray only, not a 4K release. And again, once the official announcements are covered, hopefully they'll have a couple more details. And then the two Scream Factory titles, and both of these are 4K releases. So first up is a new 4K release of the movie Rolling Thunder, which I'm very excited about. Now, I mean, some people may be like, what, another re-release? But yes and no, because their original Blu-ray of Rolling Thunder was one of their very early releases, and that, again, at the time, that was when they were using like pre-existing HD masters for their release, which I think even at the time, even though it looked fine, it was still an older master. This is getting a new 4K transfer, which I'm really excited about. It's a really awesome film if you haven't seen it. And then the other one is a 4K release of the Robert Rodriguez film, The Faculty, which is nice to see. I know that one has also been kind of long requested for a while. So, and I think that's also one that needed a new transfer because I think the older release was, again, using an older master. So again, no further details on these. And again, these aren't technically official just yet. They are, but they're not. But they are. You know, it's like, I mean, these are coming, just waiting on Shout and Scream Factory to do their own announcement. And again, these are slated, I believe, for April. So anyway, those are the announcements so far. Now, there actually are other announcements from a lot of smaller labels that actually I do want to cover. I was originally going to mention some of them in this video, but actually, I kind of want to do like almost a separate video where I do just kind of cover some of these smaller labels and kind of give them a little bit more spotlight, as it were, on their announcements. And I also want to say thank you for all of the great comments and everything, because obviously a week ago I was really not feeling good. I was having a rough time, and I sort of was going up and down through the past week. You know, sort of like started to feel better, and then I'd kind of dip, then I started to feel better, and then I would dip. You know, but luckily right now I'm actually feeling fairly good, and hopefully it stays that way. So you know, it's like, I don't know. I think my body, like, I didn't get fully sick, but I could tell like I was fighting something off. You know, out of a cold or flu or who knows what. But I do want to thank you for the comments, and I do want to say, I'll give you guys the heads up that I will be finally getting around to also replying to them. So yeah, a lot of replies coming from me. I'm sorry I didn't do it earlier, but you know, when you're not feeling good, the last thing you want to do, at least for me, is like sit in front of the computer. But I do feel bad about that, so I definitely want to get and reply to all of your messages. And that's it for this video. Just again, a couple of quick updates on these. So let me know your thoughts on these announcements. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.